Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on a back and forth I had with none other than 6ix9ine over T Grizzly's paperwork. So we're going to jump right into it. Shout out to my boy Trap Lord Ross. Let's get it.
Detroit. Now, I feel like Detroit gets a bad rep recently. I feel like a lot of people haven't really dug into like the real streets of Detroit, but
I know Detroit is tough, but every time I think of Detroit now, I think of 42 Doug. And 42 Doug is like a labubu, like you know what I mean? Like I would hang that, I would literally hang that from my belt, like you know the belt strap right here.
All right, this is fucking crazy. Calling 42 Doug. I mean, bro, the man is like literally 4'11" or some shit, if not smaller. But the context of this conversation is they're doing a most dangerous city tier list, and they just so happen to stop on Detroit. And that's why 6ix9ine is saying the first thing he thinks of is 42 Doug, who he says is built like a labubu, which is crazy.
If I could put 42 Doug on a hook and just hang him to my belt loop right here, I'm gonna hang that.
oh man, now that would go hard though. You gotta accessorize out here, man.
I bet. So I'm gonna put Detroit.
So he let Detroit down, right?
I'm gonna put Detroit all the way at the bottom with Atlanta.
For real with Atlanta. Oh, that's
Just because the face right now is 42 Doug and he's like a labubu.
What about T Grizzly? They be saying he got his aunt out of the way.
They saying T Grizzly told, like
They have been saying that. His home.
Now, when I think of Detroit, immediately I think of Eminem, but obviously he's not really like the face of Detroit currently, you know? But T Grizzly, his first day out is the hardest first day out that's ever come out. It doesn't compare to anyone else's. His first day out, when I put that on in the gym, I could be done all my workouts, whatever. I'm so exhausted. And when that comes on, I got more sets in me. Like that song just does something for you. And especially if you've been to prison and made it out the other side, that song is, you know, that song is stamped. That song is official. So when I think of Detroit, I definitely put T Grizzly up there. But what they're about to get into is how paperwork allegedly dropped on T Grizzly.
Home got invaded.
So his home got invaded and 1090 Jake. Look, I'm gonna open
I see it. Yeah.
Huh?
You got it. You got the paperwork.
So 1090 Jake.
All right.
Y'all ain't catch that though. The you talking about 1090?
Huh?
You got it. You got the paperwork.
So 1090 Jake.
All right.
They saying T Grizzly told his house got intruded, right? Somebody broke into his house. And this is me talking to 1090 Jake right here.
Damn, 1090 Jake getting the cameo, you know?
So, right.
Getting the cameo. Shout out my boy Ross. And I'm going to break down the full DM thread for y'all so y'all can see what type of conversation we had.
Here it says, right here, this investigation report. Their letters are small. On or about 9/28/22, Detective Hamilton, the case number received this case. Investigate residential burglary. The burglarized entry was made by shattering the rear sliding glass window. The thief made off with 1 million cash, jewelry, and multiple expensive handbags. February 17, 2024 at 13:30.
What's all that powder on his hat? I might have to call Trap Lord Ross and find out what they were doing over there, because that look a little iffy. But let's continue. I was looking at the tats too, because he kind of looked like an exotic bird, but the powder got me.
34. I met with homeowner Terry Wallace.
Hey, I got Jake on the line, man. Jake, I'm with your boy right now, man.
Breaking down T Grizzly. We breaking down T Grizzly paperwork right now. So look.
You think that's real though?
Hey, they saying it's fake today, but
So let me start this off, right? I was in the kitchen. I think I was about to cook or something. And Ross calls me. No context. He didn't text me beforehand. Was like, yo, da-da-da, this the situation. He just called. And me and him talk all the time. So he calls me. I pick up. But he's like this. And I'm looking at 6ix9ine. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, now I'm interested. Like, How are y'all together? What are y'all doing? You know what I mean? And this is how I play. This is a natural conversation. I did not expect this call.
I thought the whole home invasion was real.
Listen to me. His house got breaking into. Is that facts or not?
That's a fact.
All right, so listen, we're going to break this down right now. Terry Wallace misstated his home.
I like how he had to put the shades on just to say that. Wait a minute. All right, bet. Let me read this.
Target on the day of engagement wedding. Mr. Wallace is a musician with the name T. Grizzley. I began by providing Mr. Wallace with a six-pack lineup to see if he was able to identify any sex with. Mr. Wallace then chose figure number 4. Right? Like this is.
They're saying no, but they were saying that, right? Am I right? They were saying that T. Grizzley basically got the guy that robbed him on the phone and recorded him admitting, yeah, I did that.
But what I'm saying is, I could type that up and print it out right now and tell you it's real. So it's like, you've been locked up, right?
Yeah.
You've been locked up. We know you've been locked up. When you get your paperwork, right? The paperwork gets sent to you. You got your paperwork. If you're going to mail your paperwork out because you want it to hit the streets, you got to send it out through an envelope, right? That piece of paper don't have one crease in it. It looked like it came right out of the printer.
So watch this. 1090J and I be lying, I'm fine. I know a lot of people who follow you in your fan base, a lot of, ex-cons and shit like that. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I was in the feds, right? You got
You know what's funny is a lot of interviews that 6ix9ine does, he says that if I'm lying, I'm flying. If this ain't facts, this ain't. At 6ix9ine, I don't think you're known for lying. I think people's problem is the truth. You put out too much truth. I think that kind of falls into the whole snitching thing, is that you didn't get understanding lie. You told nothing but the truth. But he be saying some shit though. It's just the fact that it's coming from him, people disregard it.
I was in the feds. You got Otisville, you got here, you got Fort Diggs, you got Canaan, you got Yazoo, right? You got Allenwood, you got all these. I was locked up where people walk the yard with fake paperwork, right or wrong. There's who go make their family print out fake paperwork, right? There's one sheet that you can't fake, and it's the Simpson minutes, right? Even forge their paperwork. So this is what I'm saying. If you in the yard, right? You in the USP, and there's walking the yard with fake paperwork, right? Coming back on Rule 35s. You can't pick and choose what paperwork fake, what.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and this ain't even just because it's him. I've never heard of that. I was in state prison though, so like people weren't even checking paperwork. Like when I went from the county jail to prison, all the property I had, they threw out. Pictures of girls like that wrote me whatever letters. They dumped it all at reception. So you're not like landing with your paperwork. Like it's not like that in Florida State Prison. I wasn't in the feds.
Paper, because there's walking the yard right now on a USP compound, and walking them yards with fake paperwork. So like I said.
But see, I've never been in the feds, right? So the only thing I can do is I can look at that. That's somewhere in California. And from what I know, I don't know how it is in every city, but in Los Angeles, you can't get an arrest report unless you're the victim or the one that got booked. So for this dude to say, yeah, because I DM'd him, I'm like, hey, this.
And I know that because I've requested criminal cases from Los Angeles County. You can't get an arrest report unless you're the person that got arrested or unless you're the victim. Now, the guy that put the paperwork out, I forget his name. We're not even going to bring him up on the screen because he ended up deleting the post. But the guy that put the paperwork out and said it's real, technically he would have access to it. According to, if that's how it is, you have to be the person arrested or the victim. But I'm still not going for it. I'm going to show y'all the paperwork in a second.
Real? He's like, yeah, it's real. But then he deleted the post that he put up when he posted the paperwork. So my thing is this. If homie's locked up, and he's the only one that can get the work because he's in there, he would have to mail that out. That paper looked like it just got printed out. It doesn't have any signatures. It doesn't have any.
Now, let me ask you something. Yo, is he convicted yet? Or he fighting it?
I have no idea.
All right. So if he's not convicted yet, this is what I'm saying. We love giving it a benefit of the doubt to our favorite rappers, right? But if he's not convicted and he was to put out saying, yo, this ratted, they're going to hit him with another charge called witness tampering. You know that, right? So why he deleted the message is a possibility. So my thing as of now, right, we only talking about this because we...
All right, so what he's trying to say is if dude hasn't been convicted yet and he's still locked up for this case and he exposes T Grizzley and the situation, you know, isn't fake, why hasn't he been hit with a witness tampering for doing this, right? If he mailed the piece of paper out to somebody else and they exposed it, because I was sent the paper not by 6ix9ine originally, by somebody else. Then 6ix9ine jumped in my DM with it. He wouldn't get hit with a witness tampering because he himself didn't drop it. Like you're not the blogs. You know what I'm saying? You sent that out. They did it though. That's not gonna get you a witness tampering. Witness tampering would be like a direct contact or having your homeboy threaten them or something along those lines. But let me show y'all the paperwork and why I feel like it isn't legit. So this right here is the piece of paper that's in question. And at the very top, it says Devonshire Police Department, Los Angeles, Hamilton, and it just has a number. It says investigation report. It gives another number with some letters, February 7, 2024. On or about 9/28/22, I, Detective Hamilton, received this case to investigate a residential burglary. Blank was burglarized. Entry was made by shattering the rear sliding glass window. The thief made off with $1 million cash, jewelry, and multiple expensive handbags. On February 17, 2024, I met with homeowner Terry Wallace and Maisha Agnew for a follow-up investigation due to newly discovered evidence. Mr. Wallace, who's T Grizzley, stated his home was targeted on the day of his engagement wedding. Mr. Wallace is a musician with the stage name T Grizzley. I began by providing Mr. Wallace with a 6-pack lineup to see if he was able to identify any suspects. Mr. Wallace, okay. So we have the periods after Mr. are spaced for some reason. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, real paperwork has plenty of fuck ups. Like cops aren't good at this shit. But this is what I'm saying, right? I guess I'll read the rest of it just so I can understand the context that 6ix9ine is trying to provide. Mr. Wallace stated he doesn't know Johnson personally, but Johnson bragged about breaking into the Wallace's residence. I then provided Mr. Wallace a photograph of Johnson and two unknown male figures. On what seems to be a FaceTime call, Mr. Wallace informed me that he got Johnson to admit his role in the burglary. Mr. Wallace then provided me with video from security cameras which showed an unknown assailant exiting the rear of the residence. The assailant had on a black and white hooded sweatshirt. Mr. Wallace then provided me with a photograph of what seemed to be Johnson via the Instagram account Shooter Gang, standing on a dark gray colored SUV wearing the black and white hooded sweatshirt. I then provided Mr. Wallace a link to www.evidence.com to upload the photographs and videos. I then asked Mr. Wallace if he had any questions for me. Mr. Wallace stated he didn't have any more questions for me, so I ended my investigation as I didn't have any further questions for Mr. Wallace at this time. To me, this comes off as a motherfucker that's read some paperwork, that's trying to put something together that sounds like paperwork. And this is why I say it. On arrest reports, investigation reports that I've seen, there isn't just going to be a number. It's going to say what this number is. Case number, arrest number, investigation number. It's going to be titled something. This isn't. Now, it's got two lines here and a line here and a line here. It just seems like somebody just did this shit on Microsoft Word, bro. Like this doesn't look like paperwork that would be sent. And let me see if I can pull up something that I can show you from, let's say, like a case of mine in which you can see how this seems a little bit different. Okay, so this video is something I dropped 6 years ago about the first time I was arrested after getting out of prison. I got charged with armed assault with intent to rob, assault with a dangerous weapon by means of a firearm. Now, this is the search warrant, right? And just looking, like, mind you, the other thing is an investigative report, but this is the search warrant. It has a docket number. It has the name of the person that, you know, the detective, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when we go through You know, you got all these things that just look a lot more official. Like, you know what I'm saying? Date issued, first or administrative justice witness, printed name, signature of the detective. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're looking for, like, look at this. Signature of person making search, date and time of search, sworn signature. There's just so much more information on this. And then this is the in support of application for the search warrant. Your affiant Patrick Brown has been sworn in. It has to give his whole fucking background on who the cop is and why he's valid. And then all these blackouts were from me, just so, you know, because I was literally living in this apartment when I dropped this video. Just the entire thing looks different. So now going back to this piece of paper and again, looking at it like, all right, boom. When you go to prison, you get manila envelopes, right? But you got to go to whatever, law library. I never went in there because I never needed to, right? When you're in the county jail, you get envelopes. I'm sure you could request a manila envelope, but why would you request it for just this piece of paper? Normally, you would just fold this up, right? This thing has one little mark in the corner of it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know, bro. Like, somebody just take this and put it in the chat GPT what font this is. And find out what font they, like, there's so many, it just doesn't look real to me. And the fact that T Grizzley never even responded to it. And then the guy that posted it, you know, Shooter Gang, this dude right here, the guy that originally posted it, deleted it. I'm just not going for it. I don't think this is real whatsoever. I think this was a poor attempt because if this happened in 2022, I don't know when this dude got arrested, but let's say it's February 7th, like this is dated. This would have been got pushed out. Why is it getting pushed out now, months later? This would have been the first piece of paper he got. Your investigation report, arrest report, incident report, whatever. This would have immediately got pushed. And if you wanted to validate it that much, dude could have had his lawyer come out and be like, yeah, that's real. T Grizzley really has my client in a fucking situation. None of that happened. So I'm not going for this paperwork being real. T Grizzley a snitch. None of that. But that wasn't the end of the DMs or the conversation me and 6ix9ine had in our DM. That was just the conversation between Trap Lord Ross and 6ix9ine and bringing me in for T Grizzley. We jumped off the phone and they continued on. But if you want to take a closer look at the DMs, 6ix9ine DM me October 22nd and said, your man T Grizzley with the paperwork. And I said, they gonna skip it. Now, if you've been paying attention, I'm a huge fan of Vlad TV. We're friends off camera too, and I'm a returning guest. So I always watch Vlad when I'm eating, when I'm doing whatever. And I've been watching the 6ix9ine interviews. And the number one thing that 6ix9ine is saying when he's saying something that's actually factual is they gonna skip it because it's him. It doesn't matter if the sky is blue. If 6ix9ine says it's blue, people are going to disregard it. And I actually agree. That's literally what people do. But it's because it's 6ix9ine and he snitched, right? So I said, they going to skip it. He said, nah, make a video on that. No picking and choosing. I'll repost on my story. Now, I don't know if 6ix9ine has me confused because in my career, I haven't done too much picking and choosing, right? When I dropped the paperwork defending Rollo, people didn't like that. They thought I got paid off. When I dropped the paperwork showing Bandman Kevo didn't snitch and 16 shot him, didn't have a weird conviction, they didn't like that because they just want me to nonstop attack somebody's character until it's someone they like. And when I do it to someone they like, then it's a situation. I also didn't think Young Thug snitched. I think he said too fucking much and it was a mistake, but I didn't think he snitched, right? That was the main difference. So 6ix9ine says, no picking and choosing. I'll repost on my story. But then he sends me more case shit, right? On somebody else. So now he's talking about Mel Murda. And he said, your man Mel Murda got 11 years by the feds. We got locked up November 18th, 2018. He just came home this year, 2025 in August. Only served 6 years. How do you explain that? What's 85% of that? He's talking about 11 and a quarter years, right? Which actually, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me neither. So what I said, how these dudes, my mans, I wasn't Billy, meaning I was never BBA. I was never 9 Trey. I was never Treyway. I don't know who Mel Murda is. I was pushing a whole different, whatever. I knew different people. I really didn't associate with the Billies like that because in Florida, the politics are a little different than New York versus New York. Everyone's kind of closer together, but that wasn't my experience. So it's like, how are these dudes? I don't know T Grizzley either, but I said, LOL, that Grizzly shit looked tight though. They got to come with something better than that. Can't request LA paperwork either. 6ix9ine said, how you come home in 6. So he's not even talking about T Grizzley. He's talking about Mel Murda. I said, I don't know how that Fed shit go because they got the drug programs reducing shit too. I thought it was only 85%. He said it's only 85%, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And he keeps going. So what I want to do is I actually want to get to the bottom of what he's talking about. I want to see if 6ix9ine really is speaking facts like he says he is, because I've heard some of the things he says. And a lot of it I've actually agreed with, which is crazy. And there's some things I haven't. 6ix9ine says he was a full-blown member of Blood. But I know that he knows, and he knows that I know, he was never actually jumped in. He never took his 31, right? That's a main part of becoming a Blood. But there's a lot of people in New York that never did that neither. That's why there's a whole lot of politicians in the gangs of dudes that's been Blood for 20 years but never had to even swing a fist to do anything. They just know everybody and they try to network and politic their way out of shit. When people start getting beat up, shot, robbed, stabbed, and whatever, they just disappear. And they come back when everything cools down. So I want to know if 6ix9ine is speaking facts about Mel Murda. And if y'all want the video on Mel Murda and how he got out early from prison, y'all let me know. Jump in the comments section. DM me on Instagram. But how I'm feeling lately is I want to start dropping a lot again, how I was. And bear with me, let me get the mic figured out because this is a Shure SM7B. This is supposed to be the best mic they got. I just don't know how to fucking use it yet. So it's like, I got to figure out the audio to this, to that, because the mic I was using is over there. It's this big. It's like a little thing with a big puffy thing, like a little fucking little Labubu, a little 42 Doug on the end. Y'all want me to get it? Let me see if I can. This the mic I use for like the last 4 years. This. I don't even know how much this thing costs. I think it's like $30 or something. And it comes with its own little Labubu. This was a Labubu before the Labubus. You just pop it on the end of it. Slap it on the camera, that's it. Now I got the most professional mic in the world, don't know how to fucking use it. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. You know I'm rocking with y'all. So if y'all rocking with me, let me figure this shit out. I'm gonna have that clean audio for you. And let me know if y'all want the Mel Murda video. Till next time.